ahead and start. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Just as a matter of note for this evening, we're running some air scrubbers down here, trying to improve our air quality, so just make sure you speak up so we can be heard, and then when you speak, the public addresses us, we'll ask for you to do the same so we can hear everybody tonight. So let's start with roll call, please.
Commissioner Case?
Here.
Commissioner Garvelia? Here. Commissioner Cochran?
Present.
Commissioner Story?
Present.
Mayor Messerschmidt?
Present. Reading and approval of the minutes.
One copy from the regular meeting on July 22nd. No edits that I see necessary. I didn't see any, so make a motion to approve minutes as presented.
Second.
Commissioner Case?
Yep.
Commissioner Garvelia? Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Mayor Messerschmidt?
Yes. Public property report, Ms. Garvelia.
Yes, I have no purchase orders at this time, and D is the approval of capital park bathroom plans and updates. At this time, there's been some improvements with the plumbing. Our men are doing the work on it, so that is to keep the cost down, and we've got, people who are qualified to do the kinds of things that needs to be done. There's gonna be painting, insulation, new doors, things such as that. So the cost of that will be strictly with materials, and that's it. So that's where we stand on that. The city is the approval of HVAC work here at City Hall. We have had some mold detected in the ductwork, and we do not have, we have to do some sampling to see what the type is. We do not know the cost of that. I'd like approval of whatever that cost is, that we can go ahead with that and make that a motion that we move forward with what needs to be done to take care of this issue.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes,
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Mayor Messerschmidt?
Yes.
and that's all I have.
Water, sewer, and street. Commissioner Cochran.
I have no purchase orders tonight. I have two pool adjustments tonight. We have one at 415 East Bond Street, with Bella Casey. Make a motion that we approve that pool adjustment.
Commissioner Case?
Pass.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes,
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Story? Mayor Messerschmidt?
Yes.
We have another application for pool sewer adjustment, 200 East Blake Street, Tanya Heron. Make a motion to approve that.
Commissioner Case?
Pass.
Commissioner Garvelia?
yes,
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Story? Mayor Messerschmidt?
Yes.
I don't have any lake lot leases transferred from Illinois. We have a resolution for our car show that's coming up September 7th, 26. Make a motion to approve the resolution to approve the Blacktop Streets for the car show.
second,
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
yes,
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Story? Mayor Messerschmidt?
Yes.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Public health and safety.
Yes, I've got a couple purchase orders. One is for a replacement of the repeater. It shot craps on us. Estimated cost is $4,500, and that runs the radio communications, strut sirens for the fire department. So I make a motion to set that $4,500.
I'll second it.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
yes,
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Mayor Messerschmidt?
Yes.
The other purchase order is from the police department. Quantity 700 blank B5 soft plate ballistic vest panels for $4,723, and 7 Guardian carry vests to hold the ballistic panels, Freight was $65, come to $6,820. I make a motion to accept that.
Second.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Mayor Messersohn?
Yes.
That's all I got.
Alright, Accounts and finance.
Hi, guys. Got one payroll dated for August second. Breakdowns of $74,940.19 out of the general, $21,578.36 out of the water and sewer revenue fund, for a total payroll of $96,518.55. Make a motion to approve that as presented.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Mayor Messersohn?
Yes.
Bills. It's large. Total $571,135.69, with breakdowns of $470,637.40. From the accounts payable fund, $72,445.86 out of MFT, and $28,052.43 from other funds. Approve those as presented.
Second.
Commissioner Case?
Dale?
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Mayor Messersohn?
Yes.
I have nothing else to talk about. For once, I'm done. I'm done.
Plenty.
Excellent. Alright, that's good.
It's been enough.
City attorney, any updates? Okay. Under public affairs, just a couple of things to update. We had the back to school block party this last Saturday, and thanks to the police and fire for everything that they did. Great event. Every year got better. This year, it seems like it doubled in size, doubled in numbers, an opportunity for kids and adults alike. I'm ready to not be in a dunk tank until next year. I've done enough of that for a while. But that was it really was a well-done event put on by the veterinary volunteers. And then I make sure that Matthew Harrison knows that we appreciate his fly-in and drive-in. There were a number of planes that you normally don't see. Again, great traction. I had somebody land, they were just meeting somebody there, and didn't know what was going on, but they were happy and surprised and excited to see food trucks and other planes there. So there's some good stuff happening, and just keep in mind, fall's starting to come, and a lot more activities and events that are on their way. So it's exciting to come up with that. Along those lines, I do have one purchase order this evening, and it is for fuel. One of the things Matthew has done is try to make our fuel prices competitive. Where us, it may seem like a big deal, but for people to redirect here versus going to say a Pinckneyville or a DuQuoin, he keeps his prices just low enough that people would rather come here and go there and save a little bit. So it is time for him to refuel and reload the tank. And I need a motion, a second, and a vote for $34,086.08 from a cent there.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Mayor Messersohn?
Yes. Next, under item C, I can't believe we're actually already doing this one. Before we know it, Halloween will be here. And in looking at the dates of when it falls on a Thursday this year, rather than going the week before, which makes it too early, or go this Saturday, which makes it too late, which we usually do it on the weekend rather than the weekday. This is a Thursday. But it actually, my recommendation is this year that we actually do it on Halloween from 5 to 8 p.m. So it's up to the council as far as discussion and approval, but that's my recommendation, just based on looking at the calendar.
Have we been in contact with West City?
I've not.
Didn't know they usually follow our lead. Then
Yeah.
they follow our lead, we may be.
To my knowledge, I've not heard them say anything about it yet,
Okay.
so I've
I
not
was
seen.
just curious, I know we like to go run tandem and concur like that. So that's my question.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Mayor Messersohn?
Yes.
Concept, Halloween.
Yes, we'll have some very happy people, and we'll have some very tired parents and school teachers, but it'll be okay. Next on the agenda, we need to reappoint our board members to the Civic Center. You'll see a list there of all those, and their terms, some are expired and some have not yet to expire. Do I need to make those these individually, or do I just do it as one list?
I think if you wanna read their names out
Okay.
loud, so they show independence, that'd be fine with one.
Okay, so,
Objection, if there's some objection, then we can address that, I'm assuming there won't be.
okay. So we just need a motion and a second for the vote, and then whoever makes the motion just reads off the names for us. Then, and you can see when their terms are expired, so we're all up to date on that. And we're gonna work to do a better job of making sure we keep up with this list. For some, they've been expired for some time now.
So I have a question, are we, making this, all of them to expiring at the same time then?
No, they will expire based on their last date. So if it was, like, say, David Sneed was February 28th, it's 3 years from February 28th.
Okay. And I make a motion that we, elect to the Civic Center Board the members David Sneed, Loma Baxter, Rick Knight, Robin Fraley, Brad Brzezinski, Alan Kimball, Marty Leffler, Jeremy Young, and Shelley Ingram.
Real quick, do we need to do anything with Brad? His expiration is February 27th and 26th.
I just,
Send the name off all
I
of
didn't
them, so-
know if we needed,
Yeah.
I mean,
I just figure when his time comes up, we should
Comes
make a
up.
note,
Okay.
just approve it individually. And that's really what should happen, we should approve them individually.
Right.
It's just that most of them were expired, so we're gonna retroactive,
Right.
picking them back up when their dates were.
Commissioner Case?
Yeah.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Mayor Messerschmidt.
Yes. And then you'll see item E, discussion on approval of ordinance regulating public camping within corporate boundaries. This was handed to us by IML at the state level. We already have a loose ordinance in regards to where they can and can't camp on public property. This tightens this up, and if I understand correctly, it gives our officers a little more teeth to moving people along. And we have had issues with this in the past. We've had someone actually try to go camp at the old chimney out by Lake Hamilton, and they actually last year had to go move those people along. So this is not a new conversation, it's just one that was brought to us. Am I saying that well?
I think that makes the most sense.
Okay.
It tightens it up.
It just kind of tightens it up, so
That includes campers and.
it should be, it includes any type of camping on public property.
Public property.
Right, so it really only pertains to city-owned public property.
City-owned property. What about,
But this is an ordinance that's recommended by the state, down the fall state, I mean, on those other issues aren't a topic tonight, so this is simply
Yeah, this is
for
only,
public property only.
not private property, I don't know where you're going, but yeah,
Yeah.
city-owned public property.
Park lots, streets.
Yes, yeah,
What's
exactly.
the ordinance number?
2412.
So we just need a motion, a second.
I make a motion we approve ordinance 2412, public camping within corporate limits.
I second that.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
yes,
Mayor Messerschmidt.
Yes. Item F, discussion on approval of application, special use permits. I'm gonna defer to our Economic and Zoning Director, Brian Calcaterra, to fill us in and catch us up to speed. If you would, Mr. Brian.
Sure, yeah, this is a, activity slash, use, special use permit.
Do you care to come up here so we can hear, we're not getting good sound because of the air cleaner, so if you
Okay.
can talk loudly and up here, that way everyone can hear at home.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is a special use permit for use slash activity in a zoning district, which would be B6, located at 605 North Main Street, and that is the old Ben's, lawn service building that's been for sale. Mr. Vosberg, who's here, owns a business in Mount Vernon, or near Mount Vernon, that does tree trimming, tree removal, stump removal, stump grinding, those kinds of activities. And so, when he and I first originally started talking, I was looking through our zoning, activity use schedule, and at first I didn't find anything that I thought would be applicable for this type of business. I thought we would probably have to go back through the process we've done at this location before with the Body and Fender Works business. But then I found what was called industrial operations. So I did a little, searching on what that actually means, and as far as I was concerned, this type of use would fall under that category for special, for, industrial operations. That type of business is allowable in the B3 and B6 zones where this property is located by special use permit. So by doing it this way, it expedites the process of them having to go through getting a classification approved and then going to get a special use permit after the fact. So we kind of, we kind of shortened the red tape, so to speak, on that. And I'll probably turn this over to you, Mr. Vosberg, if you want to speak. That way you can give the council kind of your, presentation of what you think the property is going to look like if you were granted a special use permit and all, kind of thing like that. Yeah, if you want to stand up.
So we're in Mount Vernon, we're in year 3 of our business. Basically, we're a tree removal, tree trimming, stone grinding, that we do up there. Prior to this, and actually still, owned and operated businesses for almost 35 years, and a Domino's Pizza franchisee. I've owned many of the stores, not Benton, but I was good friends with the guy that owned this one, but throughout Southern Illinois, so a lot of business experience, sold most of my stores in 21, we did keep one. I have 4 boys, and one of them worked for me at Domino's, but also, in high school, cut trees, and I do some rentals and things, and we cleared out some trees a few years ago, and I just kind of jokingly said to him, I said, we did like 20 trees on the property before we had removed. So we need to do this, so. His best friend in high school, worked at Continental full-time, he actually managed my store in Centralia for me. So we got talking, and in November 21, we formed an LLC with all 3 partners. And just the two of them while they were working full-time, we started doing this. And then started with one towable lift, one little dump trailer, and my son had a little tractor, and we used that. They worked at their jobs and then did this on the side. First full year in 22, we did real well, added quite a bit of equipment. Last year, we more than doubled the prior year's sales. And really during the course of the last year, maybe a little longer, we bought some property in Mount Vernon, just north of town, about 2 miles. And we built a facility out there. We got about, actually I have another 5 acres, but with a barn and an office and what have you. We've grown significantly in the last few years. We have a new crane that we purchased that actually is going to be here this week that we ordered last November. So we're a growing business. We're kind of looking to expand south, and we can go about 20, 25 miles just because there's a cost of getting crews and stuff out there. It's cost prohibitive. The reason this location works so well, and one of the issues we have in Mount Vernon is all the tree debris. So if we bring something from the customer's house, we do most of the residential stuff. Bring it back to our property, we're not allowed to burn. So right now we're kind of dealing with that, but a lot of what we have, we bring loads down here to Burkdale's in Benton, and they take almost anything in the way of tree debris. So this we've been looking down here for a while, and really I was just looking for an acre or 2 somewhere that we could put some equipment. We really don't have anything in the way of business going on down here, but I know how we started there. And one thing I've learned is once we get out and do a job, almost every time we do a job, we almost always have somebody come up and ask us for a quote. And then just the exposure, and I mean, we've grown into a pretty significant presence up there just in the last 3 years. So don't have anything right now, but the location, actually my son was coming home, and I'd been driving up and down 37 for quite a while, looking for something. I knew what I wanted. I wanted something on 37 because of the traffic, the visibility, all very important. I was really kind of looking for something just a little bit south of Benton, but he was coming home one night and took a picture of that and sent it to me, and I was like, man, that'd be perfect. And it works here for us because we do have Burkdale's here, so at the end of the day, we take all our loads out there, we dump them. I don't have to worry about, what am I gonna do with the wood from the job of the day? It would have never worked if we didn't have the ability to go there. If something happens with Burkdale's and we're not able to, I have 15 acres up there that we can take and dispose of the wood, if needed. Certainly aware of, with neighbors and I'm very, very aware of that. And if you was to go to Mount Vernon, Centralia, what stores in here, and I've been all over and see the quality of stores that I've moved and built, I take a lot of pride. You could go look at the facility that we're at now. We don't have to beat down equipment. Our stuff mostly is new. All of it's wrapped, professionally done, and we do things right. We're professional, we're fully insured. We we try to do this right in every capacity. So, but I think this is a good, because really we kind of want to head down to Marion and eventually kind of be able to pick up the southern Illinois area, and from here, this allows us to hit Des Moines, Cesar, go halfway up to Mount Vernon, pick up that area, go halfway down to Marion. Gives us a lot of options, it kind of builds our brand over time. But that location's, for many, many reasons, is perfect, the visibility, the traffic, the fact that we have Burkdale, so that gives us a place to get rid of the wood. The front building that we have has doors, so we can bring inside our lifts and things that, our trucks and things that we really don't want sitting outside. We will have probably 2, maybe 3 trailers that will haul equipment, and a dump trailer that the debris goes in, sitting outside. Hours, our crews usually start, we're on site by 6:30 in the morning, but as time changes and it starts getting dark earlier, they'll probably get bumped back. We don't typically work at night at all. That's not to say that if there's an emergency situation that we would go out, but we're in our 3rd year, and I can't think of an occasion that we've been out cutting trees at night. So, plus it's obviously dangerous and hard to see, so. We have a website, kbtrees.com, you can check us out on there. If you want to come visit our location, we're actually, August 27th of this month, we're having a ribbon cutting with the chamber and kind of open house. We're very active in the communities for many, many years. I've lived in Mount Vernon since 1989, and I've been in Southern Illinois for a couple years longer than that, so all through Domino's. And like I said, I still own this store in Central, but I sold the other ones that I had. So the tree business was just kind of happened, and I told my son when we got into it, I said, same exact business as pizza, it's just a different product. And anyone that knows me, and I can give a lot of references to people that put in business with me. I take a lot of pride in the way we operate and how we view the community, and we're good partners. We started with just my son and his best friend, like I said, and they were doing this after work, and we operate many days, 3 full-time crews. Our worst paid guys make $21 an hour. We have other guys making $35 an hour. We're in the process of getting close. We're on our healthcare program. We got one of the guys who's been working hard for a year to get his training set up. So that's something that we're going to be adding to it. We're always thinking of, and I am too, just in Mount Vernon, because we have a small office there. It's about 900 square feet, mostly for us. But I want to find some things down the road that we might be able to retail, just to bring some people in. So my wheels are always turning on, what could we add? And there's lots of options. I mean, we sell chainsaws, chains. I get some landscaping work. There's that. Who knows? There's just. If you'd asked me 4 years ago if I was going to be in tree business, I wouldn't talk about. So I've stumbled on a lot of things over the years. Things pop up, opportunities pop up. Just gonna take advantage of it. But the building that we're looking at, the front part, there's a lot of space there. We need that much space. The location's great, but at some point, I'd like to figure out something to do with that space, some kind of retail something. I don't know what that would be at this point. I think this is the location's perfect for what we need. The visibility is great. We're starting out from scratch, and we'll probably bring a couple guys. We have one guy that's actually down here that drives up there, so this is good for him. And then I'm gonna send my son down here, and it'll take a few years, but I can see where this is going to go. Something pretty nice where we might be able to employ 6 to 8, maybe 10 or 12 people. Really don't know, but pretty optimistic. That's kind of it.
Got time for a couple questions?
Absolutely.
Okay. So will you be down here at all, or will it mostly be your son and one
So
other?
they took me out one time and let me drag some brush, and they retired me, and down.
So you wouldn't be officing down here, you'll be officing out?
I'll be in Mount Vernon, but in the beginning, probably, so, well, it's just gonna kinda depend on how busy we get. I mean, we're starting literally with nothing, so I'm exploring some things that we need to do. I'm looking at, doing some mailings, bulk rate mailings, just to get our name out there and try to generate some jobs initially, because that's, when we started up there, just, up there was a little easier for me, because I know everybody in Mount Vernon, and so we just put out some calls and let people know we're doing, and, but I don't wanna give you any numbers, and those, I don't know, get them, because it's not that big of a deal, but, last year we doubled what we did the year before, and this year, as of the end of July, we're almost 40% of last year. Last year was a really strong year for us. We invested in a crane, it's gonna be here this Wednesday. We ordered this in November, and this is a $700,000 piece of equipment. It's gonna be a game changer. There's a guy in DeSoto, I believe, has one of these. What they do, they have these knuckle moves on the end, you run them over from the ground, and they go up, they grab a branch, the tree, cut it up and bring it up. These are incredible. Reach over houses. There won't be a job that we won't be able to do with this piece of equipment. Pretty exciting. Plus the efficiency, allowing us to do a lot more work capacity, in a short time, which opens up the business. I'm about growing this business. I mean, I got out of the pizza business, and mostly except for the one, I thought I was gonna retire, but I'm always got something going on, so this is my newest thing. Super excited about it, having a lot of fun with it. My role in all of this is everything but cutting trees. My boys and the crews go out and do really good. They're really good at it. But they take care of that, they quote the jobs, and then I answer phone calls, do the schedules, anything financial, accounting, legal, insurance, all of it, that kind of stuff, marketing. That's my role. And honestly, I've never been a fan of partnerships in all my years. It's just been me, because they just generally don't work very well unless you have, but ours with these two boys, and we split it thirds, boom, boom, boom. So it has worked. Everybody's role has worked really well, really well. I'm real optimistic for it. I don't just want to be, and the perception of tree, I know some of the guys that cut trees, and I wouldn't let them deliver pizzas for me. And I want to change that perception, and we are professional, we're sure everything we do. A lot of people say, they want discounts if they pay cash. And I'm like, we love cash, but I report every dollar we make. We are legitimate, we do this right, and I compare my numbers. Domino's has taught me a lot over the years about running a business and numbers awareness, and so I bring all of that in my experience and customer service and all those things that I learned through a lot of years to here. So I think coming down here, the location's good. I'm optimistic that in a year or two, we'll have a nice little crew of guys in here making good money, because we pay pretty well, and as a company, I have ideas of things that I want to be able to do for these guys. One of our guiding principles, one of our goals is to be an employer of choice. And so with that, we want to treat our guys really well. And we buy all their personal protective gear, they have chainsaw pants, and we buy their boots, and provide hard hats, and all the tools that they need. Clearly, we don't want anybody hurt, but, we want to be able to at some point provide hopefully insurance, retirement plans, and different things that we want to be able to do. The tricky part of the tree business right now, I'm learning, is those winter months. Is you go from this to almost nothing. So we're trying, and that's the other, as far as retail and financing things, trying to figure out some things that we might be able to do during that December, January. Those 2 months are terrible. It's almost nothing. And then you just get a little bit in February, and by March, you're back in the mix. But, with all the equipment we bought, we carry a lot of debt, so trying to find some things that we can do
Christmas lights.
I mean, we have lifts, we're gonna pull the beehive down out of the tree for somebody, I mean, there's not a lot, if we can do it, I mean, and we wanna be good partners within the communities, and I'm customer service driven, way the guy. If we have issues, we fix them, I call them, following up with them, and say, hey, is everything the way you want it? And he's like, no, it's good. He said, it's just like one branch that I wish they'd have got. He said, but I can get it. And I said, we'll take care of it. So I sent a guy out there today. I said, go out there, see, there's something about it, take care of it. We fix any issues. It's not a question. So, but I need to make sure those winter months before I commit to certain things with my team that we can actually afford to do it. And I know we'll get there. I plan, I prepare, I forecast, I budget, I do all these things. And I wanna make sure that before I make these commitments, we're able to do this. But even coming down here, we're able to take, we've got a lot of equipment, we're able to take some of that equipment and bring it down here without having to pick up additional debt to do that. So that helps a lot. We have this big crane coming, which gives us the ability to, we got a great big tree down here. We can drag it down here. There's a very successful tree guy up in Bloomington, Illinois. It's called Oak Rose. And I went and visited his operation a couple months ago. He's kind of been mentoring me for like the last year. We made a lot of mistakes, boo-boos, expensive ones. But I was asking him, because his business is huge. I mean, his facility is amazing. Just, wow. He had a great story. He started out cutting trees in high school. He's like 32 and he went to college. Him and his best friend were continuing, and then out of college, his best friend's like, well, I really don't want to do this. So he kept going with it. I said, what was the game changer in this? Because his operation's huge. He says, when we got that crane, is when things really took off. So we made the commitment. I might have got out over my skis a little bit on this, because this is a huge, huge financial commitment. But I think it's going to be a game changer for us.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. I got a couple questions.
Sure.
No brush laying around or anything like that?
No. So we have our trailers, they're dump trailers. I'm not sure which ones we're gonna bring down. It'll be just one initially, and it may always just be one, but we have a 14, 16, and a couple 20 foot, and they have 4 foot wides on them, walls on them. So if there's any, it might be left over if they come in from a job and it's late. It might be there, but it's gonna have to be dumped before they go to the next job. So we're notably dumping a lot. No. I'm well aware of the neighbors and
Talk to the neighbors.
I think at the zoning meeting.
Yeah, there were a couple.
Yeah. So, no, I'm sensitive to that. I know if I was a neighbor, I wouldn't want all that either, so, yeah.
So there'll be no debris on the property at all? No.
And that's the reason that location works so well, and the only reason it works, is because we have Burke does, so we can take and dump our loads over there.
So basically, right now, you're just gonna park your equipment there,
Yep, and we'll have some signage.
and maybe later on, use the building for some type of retail sale?
Yeah, I'm open to ideas, but I would like to be able to do enough retail to pay to have someone in there during the day, 5 days a week, so when people are out. There's a ton of space there, a ton of space. We gotta figure out something to do with it. In that front building, so, but no, there will not be, any debris dumped on it, so.
I think that's the biggest problem that we're looking at.
I get it. We're having chainsaws going at 6:30 in the
Where are
morning.
you at, Brian, with everything?
So, we had, zoning and planning commission had a meeting on Wednesday, and all this was discussed, and, I wanted to just make sure that everybody was in the know too, that this is a lease for the east half of the property, correct? Just the,
The front part next to
yeah,
the.
it's a 1-year lease with the purchase option after 1 year.
Actually, the way the lease was drawn up, initially I wanted to buy it by coming in full, like with nothing. That was the approach at first, and I sat and I thought, this is it's just a huge, huge commitment, not knowing really what's gonna, I mean, I can feel good about it, I think there's a ton of potential, but once you buy it, it's yours, right? And so, I thought about it, and it worked well, because I really wanted to be next to that just like in Domino's, I mean, location's critical. We spend a lot of money on our units just to be seen, and out there too, I mean, that visibility, that signage, professionally done is super helpful, so.
You do a lot of it now.
No, some, but we're not down here, we're not visible. And if anybody knows, here's a question I have, so if you're up in Mount Vernon, you go to Google, we're the top. And you can Google us up there, look us up, but we have almost 90 reviews in just a couple of years, 5 stars across the board. But I'm wondering, so if you Google tree service companies in Benton, we don't even show on the list. You know, and I wanna get to the top of it, because I take the calls and I ask people when they call, you know, how'd you hear about us? And a lot of people just Google. And if you're not on the top of that list, and they don't see you, you're not even an option.
Yeah.
And they look at reviews too. Reviews, we do 3 things, so this is one of the things, actually 4. So, when the guys are done with the job, they're required to ask the customer to come out and through there, come walk the job with us, make sure we got what they want. They get a little goodie bag, and we do posters and koozies, and that's why the postcard in there for a review. So they ask them, but then I send them an email, they get a text message asking for a review, and then I also mail them an additional postcard, because those reviews are important. And, because I know people look at them, and we hear that a lot, so. But I don't know how to get up there so when people Google, because it's where a lot of people go.
So getting back to the zone, I think we need to focus
Yeah,
on the
that-
zone. Let's get back to the zoning.
Zoning board did vote to give their recommendation for the special use permit. This is gonna be one of those few times where I differ from the zoning board. You know, obviously, with my hat as an economic development, I think it's important that we do everything we can to accommodate new businesses, to bring new businesses into the city, and, you know, give them everything they need to be successful. And I believe in Mr. Vosberg, I honestly do. I think he's a hard worker. I think everything he says, he's going to follow through with it being, you know, a clean business. Everything that he says about that, I believe to be true. However, wearing just my zoning administrator hat, I think that this business belongs in an industrial zone, piece of property. I think it is basically a shoe-in for a piece of property like that, not B6. And that's just my opinion.
And I have a problem with just taking a section of B6 and making it industrial, just, you know, popping in one.
Just
one
give it,
little-
yeah.
it's-
Kind of spot zoning without spot zoning.
is
It essentially is how I
exactly
saw it as
what
well.
it is, and that's not ever a good thing,
Yeah.
so.
It's just the storage of equipment though. I mean, Nelson stores equipment in parking lots all over the damn place. Boom trucks, cherry pickers. I mean, I know it was before I got to the council, but I believe that this council had the same thing going on in the residential area, a couple of years ago with, tree service storing stuff and it not being very clean, not lumping you into that, I'm just saying a previous situation, you know, if, I understand where the view is industrial, I just look at this as equipment storage. I don't look at it as, you know, a bit manufacturer or a boat manufacturer or anything like that. I don't view it as industrial. I mean, if anybody else wants to speak up and change my mind, I mean, I'm all ears, but this just looks like it's storage. Yes or no? I mean, that's the preliminary plan, is that this is equipment storage.
Yeah, I mean, that's a place to put our trailers and stuff, and the reason it works is because it's a busy room and I want the visibility. He's got a building there, he's got pulse, and he's got digital board.
I mean,
What I'm after is the visibility, we're right on that busy road, there's what, 8,000 to 9,000 cars a day that hit that road. But yeah, we're gonna have a couple trailers sitting outside, dump trailers, and probably a 36-foot trailer that we put the equipment on. The more, higher dollar equipment that we don't want sitting on the elements will be parked inside. But really what I'm after is the visibility and the signage. Cause I don't need all that space right now. Like I said, I was looking for something with an acre or two, really just, cause I wanna get something out there with our logos on it. So when people drive by, they see them, and location's effective, and that location, is perfect, but yeah, we're gonna be parking trailers on, that's,
In front or back?
what's that?
Front?
In the front.
Only the front is the parking.
I mean, it's no different than what the property's been used for previously, as far as that storage area. I mean, the inside was a retail situation when it was Ben's, but there was mowers and trailers and all kinds of other stuff stored out there regularly. I see this as absolutely no difference. I mean,
Other than that's product, that is what I'm saying.
but, I mean,
Yeah,
it's being stored until it's sold. I mean, I'm sure if somebody were to come up to him and make an offer on a truck and it was more than he paid for it, then I'm sure he'd probably sell it. I mean, everything's got a price.
No,
But
that was a retail business.
So you're looking at it more as, it's not a
It's
retail
just-
business, it's an industrial.
It's an industrial type business located on North Main Street on a business corridor.
There's no way it can be put into any other kind of a business, it's definitely industrial.
Well, I mean, even if it were, then we'd be right back here trying to get a special use permit for a blank business, you know?
It sounds like a very clean operation.
I pride myself on being professional and doing things right, and like I said, I'm sensitive to the nature of this business and neighbors, and that's a busy road, and it's.
So it sounds like he wants the visibility, but what you're saying is it's not a retail business. He
Well,
needs
and
more
being a
storage
retail
equipment.
business isn't necessarily a prerequisite for being in a B6 zone. I just see this particular type of business something that would be more applicable at.
For industrial
an
parks, which is
industrial
what we
zone.
specifically have two of.
Correct.
Is that interpretation? What kind of a property are you sitting on now? How is it zoned?
It's outside of city limits, so they don't
Oh,
have.
you're
any-
outside of
Yeah,
city.
There's no zoning there, so.
But that's also
Okay.
different, well, in the sense that, we had to have a place to dispose of all the tree debris, because we don't have a brickhouse out there. We brought loads down here, but it's not cost efficient to do it,
Right.
because we're almost 2 hours to bring a load down in a 20-foot trailer. We need to put a dent in the amount of tree debris. I mean, we're busy, we do a lot of business up there, and, I mean, one tree generates a lot of debris, and burning is illegal. I've explored some options, I talked to the EPA and some things that we might be able to do that have not been real helpful with me. You know, at some point, we might just have to bite the bullet, but there are literally hundreds of loads for us to bring down here, but most of these other guys are doing it illegally, they're burning. But our trucks are everywhere, and we're very visible, and that, to me, kind of makes us a target for a lot of things if we don't do things right, so, no, we won't burn. I'm not sure what we're gonna do.
I tell you, in our community, word of mouth is a big.
Oh, referrals are huge.
If there's good quality service, word of mouth goes a long way. And, your trucks would be visible, we should consider looking at any other industrial property that we have.
I'm not gonna say no to that. I know how important location is. I mean, even if the lease, the amount of rent that I'm paying, it's a lot. I mean, he probably wants more, but it's a lot. And I'm paying it for the location. That's it. That's it.
Any other questions from the council? Any other thoughts, feedback? Okay. So we have a recommendation from our economic and zoning individual to not allow this permit, if I understand correctly. So,
So the recommendation
it's-
to allow it from zoning and planning commission.
yeah. So So yes, complete the information there, so it's up to the council to make the motion if they feel that's what they make.
I'll make a motion to approve special use permit 2024-03.
Is there a second from the council?
Give it a vote, guys. Just because you second it doesn't mean you have to vote for it. Give it a vote or ask for more information. Go.
We've got 30 minutes for information.
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys, if it's either gonna die for lack of a second, or somebody's gonna make a second, we're gonna vote on it, one or the other.
Sounds like it's gonna die for lack of a second. We have to,
All you do is vote. What a waste of the process.
do another motion then?
I've got mixed feelings, I think it's good, but then I've got another feeling that if we started here, where are we gonna end up with? It's just gonna bring more stuff like that, you know, bring it there. I believe the gentleman, I believe he runs a good business, but I've just got a feeling that it's just gonna bring other people in for the same thing. That's my opinion.
Well, it's a special use. I mean, again, just because you make the motion doesn't mean you have to vote for it. Make a motion, give it a vote, and vote it down.
Motion's been made, and it died for lack of a second, I oppose.
What a waste. What a waste.
So does that mean there's no action taken?
Nope.
It died for lack of, there was no approval, no
Okay.
motion can come to the table.
That's okay.
Okay, so understand what our city attorney's saying, then we just move on.
Wasn't approved, sir.
Okay.
I'll keep looking.
And thank you, your presentation was excellent.
No, that's, and I understand. Huh? Okay, fair enough.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Well, looking at item G, my recommendation is gonna be that we table this. We need additional information. We need some permit information, some insurance information. So before we can really move on with item G, we need to table that to the next meeting to secure better information.
Make a motion that we table item G for investigation.
Second.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Story? Mayor Messerschmidt?
Yes. Any miscellaneous business? Any old business? Only thing I have under old business is we were contacted by a property owner landlord that has asked the council to review our occupancy inspection fee. And because he asked, we'll do that, but we won't do that till the next meeting, just want the council to know that's something that's on the radar. At this point, there's no plans to change. It's been that amount for years and years and years, but it's worth the revisit. The research that I've done, we are within range of what a normal occupancy fee is per dwelling. And, so just want the council to be aware of that. Anything under new business?
Can I go back to old business?
Sure.
The check is in the mail and, or it will be in tomorrow morning and we'll get the date set for the police department.
Very good. There was a joke and some irony that we did the water inflatables right at the corner of the building that tends to flood. There was like.
It was on the downhill side.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there was some good comedy on that one, I thought that was kind of funny. Any new business?
Just a random thought. I'm gonna go back to 9F. Guys, there's 5 of us. Second a motion and then kill it through the vote. Don't let motions die like that. That's such a waste of what we're here to do. Just vote no against it. It's really simple. I've made multiple motions where I've voted no on something, but I've allowed it to come to a vote. Let's be better than that. As a council, let's be better than that.
Any matters from the public? Nice and loud so we can hear you. It's loud in here tonight.
To the podium, please.
Yes.
I'm John Etzker, I'm the commander of the American Legion Post here in Benton. With me are some representatives from the post, scouts who've done work, get to that in a minute, and, president of our auxiliary back there, Kathleen Cohen, ladies auxiliary. Anyway, I brought some pictures to show you. I wanna talk to you about the upkeep of the cemetery right to the west. These pictures, I don't have pictures for everybody, I got 4 groups of 3 pictures.
We can share.
That's known as the Civil War Cemetery, and it, like I said, it's located just west of the American Legion Hall. And the grass, I understand, is mowed to some degree by the water department. And I'm not here to find fault with anybody, I'm just here to make the council kind of aware of the problem there. I think it could be really some kind of almost a disaster there. There's 2 big dead trees right in the middle of the few tombstones that are left standing in that cemetery. And limbs fall off of those, fall on those tombstones that would be irreplaceable. And just want a gate, I had a picture of the gate there. That, been that way for several, at least a month or 2. Just want to make you aware of the upkeep we have in there.
Well, I can tell you on the trees, it is on the list to be taken down, and our tree company has taken down 10, and this is some of the next trees on their list. So I spoke with Craig about that today. So I know that that's on their list to be taken down, so I don't know what the
Tree on
timeline is.
south part of the property.
Yeah.
Big tree.
Yeah,
It's right in,
We're gonna have to take the fence down to be able to do that, because we're worried about going over the graves, going that over the north end. So we've looked at that for a while now. So we got it on the agenda, so we're gonna have to take, of course, that fence down a little bit too. So we've got it on the list too.
I don't know if any of the people that came here have anything they want to add. What we're saying, but just like to see, I'd like to see it better than it is. It's not finding fault.
sure.
Thank you. Anybody got any questions?
Pictures speak a
I'll-
million words,
I'll
John.
talk to
That's right.
our street people tomorrow, bring it to their attention again. Dale Watkins looked at it several times, but I'll talk to him about tomorrow and see when they look at it.
I'd be glad to go out there with whoever.
Yeah.
Whatever. We have a key in the club to get into that cemetery, because people come there, I guess somebody from the city gave a few years ago, gave us a key because they come there to do research on their relatives and
Yeah.
people who were in the Civil War. There's a lot of history out there, so.
Great.
It'll take up extra time.
You need your pictures back up.
No,
Well, these are gifts for us. It's the visual reminder that what needs to be done.
Thanks for coming to see us.
thank you for your time.
Any other matters from the public? Need a motion
Are
to
you,
adjourn?
are you all here for observation? Are you? Well, thank you, Barry. The scouting group is here.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
He did, one second.
I'll second it.
Commissioner Bowe. Commissioner Conner.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I wanna stay. I wanna breathe.